What's up, peers, and welcome to the World Crypto Network, here for another new show for open source everything, where we talk about amazing and interesting Bitcoin and Lightning, but definitely open source technology. And today we are joined by the one and only Konstantin at Sputnik. What's up? How are you doing, my friend?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here and show off my stuff.
Oh, yes. And then we have a bunch of stuff to show because you're working in something very, very compelling. And that is making the esports and gaming truly fun. Because, if you have games and you have currencies, of course, as many, many games have a economic play to it as well. Well, why would you like to have shitcoins with it? That doesn't make sense. We need to have hard and sound money with gaming. So, Konstantin, you have a fantastic, nice little gaming lab. So, what are you doing there?
Yeah, so what we do here is we started last year with the Unity engine, which is one of the biggest PC gaming engines and also for consoles and mobile. And we developed a LND plugin for it. So it means that your application, your game can connect to a LND node, be it yours or on the web, and do amazing stuff with it. Yeah, so that's what we started with. We then built some more open source software like a Minecraft server, which used LND. And after that, we started working on our own game, which runs on Unity and LND.
That is fantastic. So there are, of course, many, many different ways of how you can use a currency in games, and having a good currency is, of course, really beneficial. Can maybe how is the current in-game payment mechanisms for games? How is the current setup?
At the moment, it's pretty shitty. I would say it's you. If you look at mobile game stores, okay, every developer does their own. You wouldn't say it's a shit coin because it's not even a coin. It's just a value on a database, and you can buy those shitty diamonds and then spend them in game. There are virtually no costs for developers, and it's just behind one big paywall. And I don't know. I think we can do better with it. On the PC gaming side, we have some better monetizations, but yeah, I think we can always do better with Lightning and Bitcoin, I would say.
Oh, yes, most definitely. And however, though, this is a huge market, right? Because already, although the payment rails are very much limited, there is a lot of demand and a lot of people using these in-game shit coins, right?
Sure.
And and especially with huge games like, for example, World of Warcraft, there really truly is a huge ecosystem and economy builds out of these games. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. I would say World of Warcraft is uh, not as good as an example because they are pretty fair in their payment model. But I mean, if you look at Steam, for example, they take 30% of your games, then they have their marketplace where they also take 30%, and I think we can do better with peer-to-peer payments.
All right, it's trusted third parties. They are security holds. They are middlemen. They are costly, and they make the transaction not peer to peer. So, how about the developer relationship here with Steam? Right? How is the experience of getting paid as being a developer on a platform such as Steam?
I have not experienced that yet. I'm excited what they will do about us because I don't know if we cut in their market model. I don't know. But for example, we also work with Twitch applications, which have their own shitcoin implemented. And if it gets public, what we do, it will be interesting how the market will react basically for zero fee payments. So I'm excited for that, but there's no data yet.
Okay, yes, that as well. And how about these huge tournaments, right? That are organized, and then
Ah.
you have these public esport games. Of course, a different niche as home gaming with Steam, but where's the currency aspect in such games, such tournaments?
So I'm not really sure how they use currencies yet. There are some betting websites which are, I don't know, they all seem pretty scammy, but I don't have any clue how we could change that today. But I mean, what we can do is we can use microtransactions for a lot of stuff, and there will also be esports payment in that as well. But I don't know. The problem is every system that is in place right now for gaming monetization basically doesn't make any sense, is not user-friendly, is not developer-friendly. It's just friendly for the platforms that distribute them. If you look at Steam or Twitch or all these esports companies, basically.
Okay, yes, and although right there might be some issues with microtransactions in the sense that you have to do these recurring payments, but when you are online, right, when you are in cyberspace, this might be handled much easier. So, do you think that now that we have truly instantaneous and cheap microtransactions, how will that change the way we use currencies in the game itself, right? What can we, or how can we change the gameplay now with such a lightning money?
I mean, right now we only have mostly only have, if we talk about currencies, we have user to developer payments. So you pay for X boost or a certain kind of hat, and then Steam came with a marketplace, and it allowed users to sell their items to other users, which Steam takes a cut of 30%. So what I see that that Bitcoin payments and Lightning payments will do for gaming is give those virtual items and assets a real world value, if you look at it that way.
Oh, very nice. Yes, and there's both a aspect of having the in-game payments, but then also, of course, the marketplace afterwards. And of course, the marketplace afterwards, when we have peer-to-peer money and when we can have a true free market of these digital goods, that would create quite some compelling and interesting things. But of course, the question is, how secure can it be? Because most likely it is still a database. So when we have these in-game quote unquote fake goods and services, when we all of a sudden have quote unquote real money, do you think that will change some of the consumer behavior?
Probably should. I don't know. Cheats and hacking is probably pretty big, and if you give real world incentives to do this, like, okay, now you can buy food because you played better, I think it's a dangerous way to go. And yeah, there should be treaded carefully how we approach it as game developers. How I mean, it would be nice if people could earn their living from games, but the amount of security you need to support that is, I don't think it's feasible at the moment, and there's more innovations to come. But yeah, that's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and the security has to come both, of course, on the Bitcoin side, right? The Lightning Network payments have to be secure, but then also for the entire gaming architecture. Because now all of a sudden, when you can create, I don't know, 5,000 eggs in the computer code, and then you can sell these 5,000 eggs for real Bitcoin, then all of a sudden you have a really valuable exploit. And that will mean, of course, that the devs have to step up their security game in making sure that these bugs don't happen. And that maybe then as a lead-in to the next subject, which I think is super interesting, is that we know that for regular software, non-gaming software, the open source approach is quite common on catching these bugs early and making sure that a lot of people see the code and test it. So do you think that this will in general lead to a more open source ecosystem in gaming?
I would hope so. I mean, I don't know of any popular open source games, but I think they should come. I think the time would be now. If you look at microtransactions, for example, you could have a space in which, okay, you have like these Bitcoin core devs. They develop the base of the game. Then you have content providers, and if you have a micropayment like channels between them, then maybe we can have a sustainable open source gaming model. I don't know if it's possible yet, and it's not done before, but hopefully it will come. So I see a big potential in Lightning and micropayments and open source gaming as a combination.
Yes, and the funding issue is definitely always critical for open source projects in general.
Sure. So we now realize it takes a lot of time to create a game. So we started creating our own game, and yeah, we thought we would be further forward at the moment, but it's so much work to do. So funding could be a problem. Yeah.
Okay, well, and they're definitely having a good usable currency is key, right? That's what we need.
Sure. I mean, that's not only for gaming, right?
That is true, but especially I would, from someone being outside of and definitely not a gaming developer, I would just think that the open source ethos, especially on the developer side, would also be so, let's say, enticing, that you can copy the work of others and share what you do and build cool stuff together, right? And then on the other hand, when you are a user of the game, when you are playing it yourself and you find some weird bug or you want to do some tweaking yourself, if the source code would be available, I think that would just increase the fun of the game itself.
Yeah.
Why is it that open source has not yet achieved any success in gaming?
I don't know if Chet knows of any open source gaming projects, but I mean, what you described could be modding at the moment, which in some games is used in a big way. But yeah, I don't know why we don't have open source gaming yet, especially if you look at, okay, let's look at it from an esports angle. There's now, okay, let's do esports Olympics. But if you do an esports game, it's controlled by a company. And if you look at real sports, they are basically open source, right? What we defined as football was an open source project. But now if you think about esports in gaming, you have companies who decide the outcome of the game, basically. How it's balanced and stuff like this.
Yes, and the fact that it is consensus in some form, right? If you when you play a game, you want to stay on the same game. And if
Sure.
everyone would be able to tinker with the code itself, it might break compatibility between the different units.
It's like a protocol.
It is, right? But and I thought actually that Minecraft would or was open source, but apparently not. But it was heavily influenced by modding, right? And I
Sure.
think modding is a current day example that we have for open source gaming. But Minecraft was a huge success. So do you see a tendency in that direction?
I don't know. I don't know because I just saw it in chat. If I would say that Minecraft mods open source is the same as open source software today, because if you look at Bitcoin, the protocol level is open source, right? If we don't like the protocol, we can change it, and we cannot change Minecraft source code, so we're forced to use what they want us to do. So that's just to answer chat. And what was your question again?
Well, in general, if there is a tendency on the macro level to open source gaming.
I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe I'm at the wrong spots, but I don't see a tendency for open source gaming. Unfortunately not. Except modding, like Minecraft modding, yeah.
Well, then you have to make it happen.
Yeah, sure. But our game at the moment is super closed source, so yeah, shit. But with games, you also have the problem, okay, you will use a lot of proprietary software, right? So for a long time, physics engines were closed source. Unity is closed source. Unreal Engine is open source in some way, but yeah, it's just closed source everywhere.
Yeah, but then look at this for you as a developer. Wouldn't it be much better to have these engines and everything open source?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. But I don't know if we can expect it. I would love to see it. There are some open source engines like Godot, the Godot engine, but the ones that are in use are mostly closed source.
Well, weird. We have to change that. We have to make sure that that somehow we can get the open source game.
Yeah, sure.
And okay,
So
maybe
if we talk about source, because we're building a game which uses Lightning and which uses Twitch as a way to distribute invoices, and our game runs our open source plugin for Unity. So if I can just plug that, so what we do is we created a plugin for Unity which connects to your LND node, and you can send payments from that. So Max, do we want to show the game or?
yes, well, maybe let's first talk a bit about what or how the dynamic is and how it works, and then let the chat know how they can participate. Actually, so get your Lightning channels ready. So there are different ways that you can use payments to make games more interesting, right? And one would be something where you just give tips and donations, but that would be rather boring. So you want to have something happen in the real game itself. And then it's either the player himself who does the payments, right? So, for example, you want to have this this nice sword, then you have to pay for it to get it, or you want to have the game a bit more easier, and you can pay, and some special thing happens. But that is from the player itself initiated the payments. Now, what you have is the different approach, right? Your Donner Labs is, or the Donner Dungeon is tailor-made for streaming specifically, so that there is a player and a viewer relationship. Could you explain that a bit?
Yeah, sure. So as you said, donations are pretty boring. You pay for just just a message basically on Twitch, but it's a pretty big revenue source for Twitch streamers at the moment. You have donations and subscriptions, and donations are like super big if you look at the biggest streamers like Ninja and stuff. So what we wanted to do is, okay, how can we do the donations smaller? Like the smallest donations is 50 cents at the moment. Okay, we can do it smaller with Lightning, right? But can we also make it cooler? So the donations in our game, they are gameplay altering in a way. So you pay for the streamer to fight different types of monsters, and you pay for that monsters basically.
Yeah, so that's right, and that's again the inverse thing. You can have as a viewer, you can either pay to support your the streamer, right, and make his life easier, and you can be kind of like supportive on the team, or you can be a pain in the ass and play kind of as the villain and make everything much more difficult for the gamer itself.
Sure.
And where's Stunner Dungeon in this?
We're on this stream. We just want the viewer to play against the streamer, just to be to annoy him basically. So at the moment, there's no, you cannot be for your streamer, but in a way you do that because you pay him real money, right? If you pay Satoshis.
Yeah, right. And that's interesting, because what's basically happening is that I, as a streamer, I'm now entertaining you, the viewers, and when you like it, you can give a tip. But when you do so, it actually gets more difficult for me. And so this means that my struggling in this fake reality of the game, my struggle is going to be more intense, thus more entertaining. And then again, you will like it more, donate even more. It's going to be even more difficult, even more entertaining. It's a nice feedback loop.
Yeah, I think so too. And so we came up with this idea because we thought, oh, we don't think everyone will have Lightning by the time we will release our game. So the idea was, okay, maybe a streamer is like techie enough to have their own node running, right? And users can just pay with like a mobile wallet, like Eclair or stuff. So this is how we came to this. Okay, we have one streamer who receives payments and a lot of viewers who will pay those payments. That's why we had those gameplay decisions.
Yes, and again, when also at the current state, especially send-only wallets are much easier to configure, and this way the masses, the viewers, only have to have send-only wallets, and right, that would be, for example, here your Eclair wallet, which is super easy to send funds only over Lightning, and yeah, okay, so how is the interaction from the point where the viewers can register and then request the invoice? How is that setup handled?
So the thing at the moment is you need to have Twitch. We're just using Twitch. It's IRC protocol, so you can also request invoices via IRC, but that's not activated at the moment. But we want to move away from Twitch at some point where the payment requests can come via a website or stuff like this, because we want to be platform agnostic, right? Because we don't know how Twitch will react. We don't know yet. But so the way it would work, you would need a Twitch account if you're a viewer, and you can request those payments in the Twitch chat. So I don't know if it will probably be easiest if I just show the basics of the gameplay a little bit.
Yes, and Piers, let's keep in mind that we are still very, very early for Lightning Network in general, right? Just that itself is still early days, and especially the implementations of Lightning Network and the use cases. So what we're seeing here today is very, very cutting edge, and it might not be pretty.
It's probably buggy.
It's buggy as hell, but it shows what's possible.
But sure, if there are some people in chat who have an LND node running at their demand. So today we will start with our alpha basically, and if we have Steam and LND node, we can test it. I would love to have some feedback.
Yes, awesome. So currently, if they are in Twitch now, I hear in the chat that some are.
Yeah, we'll send the link to the...
I already put the link in there. So what do they, or how do they interact?
Okay, I cannot send links to YouTube, so it's twitch.tv/DonnerLab. The stream will be offline. We will just use the chat, and you can use the chat to request invoices, and you will see it in my game, which I will stream shortly. I just want to show it, and then you can play, right?
Yes.
So, okay, so the game will be distributed on Steam. We want to be on Steam, right? Because we want not only Bitcoiners to be on, not only Bitcoiners to play our game. So if you want an alpha key, we can give you a Steam alpha key, and you can just activate it on Steam. And after you download it, you need to configure a little bit, and it will connect to your LND node.
Okay, but the let's say the crazy setup, right? The complicated Lightning Network stuff so far is only done by the one playing, by the streamer itself.
Yes, yes. So you will come to this beautiful menu, and there are two game modes at the moment because, as we said, it's super early alpha, and yeah, we need to test how fun the game is and how it works. So we have an AI mode and a Lightning enabled mode.
Oh, of
so
course,
the Lightning enabled mode will be where users can send payments to. So now I'm in the game. Can you see my mouse cursor? Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like an RPG kind of game where you control this witch and you want to defend your home base from invading villagers, or they want to purge you. And you have these abilities. You can attack. You can skill yourself in different ways. This is the streamer side of playing the game. The viewers then can, via Twitch, request invoices. For example, they can request to send an archer. And we now have one person playing. And if I request this, I will now get a message from the streamer to pay for this. So you will get a QR code, or you will just have the invoice. And if I will just pay for this with a voucher,
which we will talk about in just a second, because that's also something extremely interesting.
The invoice was already on. All right, so now the payment has been sent, and in my game I can see, okay, the viewer Sputnik has now wants to send me an archer, and he paid for it basically.
And so as soon as this payment is done, right, we have here on the left side, we see these, now here the dog, the villain coming in. And it had, if you saw it, it had the Sputnik name on top. So it actually shows in game who is or who has sent these enemies. And thus there is also here the community interaction. I mean, just imagine we have, for example, uh, we have, for example, 23 Uvas, who's always in the chat here. If he would come and just have his character name on top of the persons here in the game, that would be just cool to see who is supporting the channel and who's sending these waves.
Okay, now you see Jackpot Oracle has sent me a hound mob. And also the fun thing about is, okay, now that he has sent this mob, he has direct, yeah, he can chat to me basically, if you can see that now. Which is a way to make it for bigger streamers interesting to pay this streamer, right? Because you want to talk to him directly, like you would do in classic donations.
Yeah, so it is a lot of collaboration and communication, not just on the monetary sense, but also for for all the other integration and for letting know who sent every this wave. But of course, having the value communication of how much the stream is valued and what quality of content is being provided, that is quite nice.
Yeah, sure. I see basically the same. I think it will provide a lot of entertainment for viewers and for the streamer as well, because he will say, oh, okay, I will get paid. And the viewer, they get more for their money than just simple text messages. And of course, we want to improve the game a lot. And right now it's super early, but there will be a lot to come, I think.
But I think this already shows the potential quite nicely. Well, but let's try this out in the chat. Can you maybe generate a couple more invoices that we can then post in the YouTube chat?
Yeah, maybe someone can do this for me, because for me, I will just do a pause after this wave to show off the voucher system and the airdrop system. So this is a stronger monster.
It's over 9,000.
It's over 9,000. Yeah, we added some funny Bitcoin quotes for them to say. And yeah, there are a lot of Satoshi quotes in there.
Max Kaiser in the chat asks, how much is it to spawn Jamie Dimon?
Jamie Dimon. 1 second.
And I think what is also really nice to know here is that...
Who is Jamie Dimon? I need to ask that. It's probably...
He's the CEO of JP Morgan, the huge bank.
Okay.
He likes Bitcoin.
He does. That's nice.
Yeah.
So...
Sorry, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to just show off the voucher stuff, which... So when we create the game, we saw we had a problem of giving the viewers Bitcoin, basically, or the streamer, he set up his Bitcoin node. How can his viewers play with him, basically? Because, yeah, we have Bitcoin and we use Lightning, but not all of the users do. So we created this voucher system in which you can buy these vouchers which are valid for a certain amount of Satoshi. And if you use them, you can use them to pay like real Lightning invoices. And what we then did, built on top of it, was this system where you can airdrop these vouchers to a stream, basically. So I can just show it off. So I'm just now requesting to send to the DonnerLab channel 10 vouchers with 100 Satoshi.
And so what this basically is that one user is making a Lightning Network payment to the DonnerLab node, and then you have this liquidity and you issue on your own centralized, stupid, not a blockchain database, you issue a voucher, a token, so to say, that says that when someone is giving you this voucher back, like proving that he knows this random number, then your node, your DonnerLab node, will make a Lightning Network payment to whichever invoice this user provides together with the airdrop or with the voucher. So that is quite cool, because this way anyone without the Lightning Network node just somehow needs to get these vouchers, for example, with a airdrop, and then you can pay any invoice that you get presented. So that is again a quite amazing onboarding experience, although of course it is heavily centralized.
It's super centralized, yeah.
And very custodial. But great idea.
Custodial, centralized, but I mean it's 100 Satoshi, right? What can go wrong? So I need to send a couple more because I don't get any airdrops at the moment for some reason. So I will just show off the vouchers maybe with.
You see, as soon as you don't have, as soon as you don't have your vouchers on a blockchain, they go missing.
Yeah.
You need a blockchain just for that.
A voucher blockchain, right?
Jonas says that you can't buy vouchers either, or drop. He means drop. Good question. I don't know.
Right, so now I bought myself this voucher. So the idea is, okay, you can go to this voucher website and buy a couple of vouchers for your friends or family. So now I have this voucher. I will just send it out in chat. You can use it as well. Use it on, I cannot send links in chat, unfortunately.
Send it in the Hangouts chat and then I'll post it.
All right. So if you want to just use a voucher, the easiest way is, of course, Satoshi's Place.
And the voucher's in the chat, guys. So whoever is first.
Yeah, it's free Bitcoin. Bitcoin giveaway.
Uh-oh. Pre-ICO is next. So stay tuned.
So if I just want to draw a couple of pixels here for 36 Satoshis.
Ooh, quite many Satoshis. We're throwing them away here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You can see, okay, it's 36 Satoshi to this destination. And the payment works just like a normal Lightning payment.
Okay, and so with one voucher ID, you can make as many Lightning payments until the value is eaten up?
Yes, exactly. So now you've seen, okay, my payment went through. Here's the beautiful thing I drew. Yeah, so the Lightning vouchers are open source. You can run it on your own node. You can use our voucher. We just take a fee because we need to, because we pay for the routing fees. So if you want to use it, you can, but you can also run it yourself to give out for your friends or family or for onboarding. And this is what we basically use for Twitch. So the idea is that the Twitch streamer can give out the vouchers to his viewers so that he will get the payments back, basically.
So you can now in Twitch do both, right? You can hand out the Lightning Network invoices directly so that the users have to pay direct Lightning Network invoices, or you can hand them out the vouchers together with the invoice. And that is fantastic. So you can send them both a place where to put the money, and you can give them the money as well. So
yeah. And I mean, the streamer would hope that the money goes back to him, right?
Okay, and so what I also really like is how in this game the different payments can add together. So what happens when different users at the same time buy different waves? Which wave is released first?
Okay, yeah, that at the moment is a somewhat complicated system, but I think it shows a little bit. It works for bigger streamers in a way. So you can see on the right where my mouse cursor is, there's this wave power, and it's a little bit borrowed from tower defense games. So there's a maximum amount of wave of monsters that can fill one wave that will spawn. And you pay a fee of Satoshi per wave power. And so these are 5 falcons with a value of 2. So these are 10 wave power, right? And this guy, Jackpot Oracle, paid 14 Satoshis for this wave. So he has a fee of 1.4. And the way it would balance itself is, so you're a small streamer that is just playing with his friends. The fee amount would be pretty low because you wouldn't juggle yourself up to a high value. But if you're a really big streamer and you have viewers who really want their monsters to be on the field, they will pay a high fee, and the overall fee will be a lot higher.
Yes, so again, here right now we have a market in donations. And of course here well, not directly donations, but in affecting this gameplay. So those that want to donate a lot, those that want to support the streamer can do that easily here with the payments. And if they really want to put the money where the mouth is and want to make sure that that their action gets through, then they have to pay a lot. It's quite nice.
Yeah, we will see how it works out. We're looking at ways to make it more fun. But yeah, I think it's somewhat fun at the moment, but we're still working on a lot of things. It's still pretty early. We see that the Lightning integration works fine, and we work on the infrastructure to support it, like the voucher system, and gameplay is still very rough at the moment.
Yes, of course, and that is because, well, building a game is not easy, not trivial. So that itself is difficult, but then revolutionizing the entire industry by making digital smart magic money instant payments possible is another huge major task. So you have put yourself here onto quite a task, but I think you're up to it because it really looks fantastic, and not just as a gameplay, I think intuitive. But then also the Lightning integration is just breathtaking, and it shows you what just might be possible, especially when you combine all of this. I mean, imagine such a tower defense thing, right, where the viewers can pay for the waves, but then they can also buy like skills or tools for the streamer, right? And then they might buy huge one events that might rip up the entire map, for example. So you can mix and combine different payment mechanisms here.
You can mix and combine a lot. If you think about, okay, now let's have two streamers play against each other, and their respective chats pays for the monsters for the other streamers. So you have like this esports system where you have, I don't know, a lot of people participating in one game and a lot of interaction between those users and streamers. Or if you look at the recent these battle royale games, I don't know if you know, like Fortnite, for example. Do you know Fortnite?
I've heard of it a couple times. I actually have never played it.
So it's a deathmatch type of game where 100 people join one big map, and only one can survive and will win the round. And have you watched the Hunger Games?
Yes.
Movies, yeah, or read the books? So it's that concept. And you know, in the Hunger Games, you have these sponsors, right? Who can make payments to improve the chances of one fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we could have that. We could have that in a game, and we could have the viewers deciding on who should have an advantage or not with real life payments, right?
Yes. Also very nice here, right? To both give support and lay obstacles.
Yeah, I see in chat there are a lot of ideas for games. RPGs or story-driven games. Yeah, I mean, I think they would work as well, because streamers want their viewers to decide in a lot of RPG games. So that could be done via payments, I would say.
Yes, right. And when the viewers could give their, give the character extra buffs or extra hindrances, that can work in any game.
Oh, this is a hard wave. Sorry. Oh no. So the archers get pretty strong. But right now, but right now the balancing is hard. I think it's too easy for the streamer at the moment. But yeah, I played it a lot, so I should be good, I would say, but let's see.
Yes. AR Fourscreen says in the cheat, in the chat also, that perhaps they can pay to make a quest or to hide a treasure for the gamer to find it. Yeah, also nice, right?
That's a
To
cool
maybe
idea.
to maybe for example with such an RPG is if your character can bribe someone to give an extra tip to make something easier, right? That bribe can come from the viewers, or then on the other hand, right? If you want to have want to make it more difficult, you can have some logical in-game justification of why this payment makes it more difficult.
Yeah, there are a lot of possibilities. I mean, that's why I think we should push gaming maybe for Lightning, because it can bring so much fun to gaming and to Bitcoin as well, and Lightning. Both ecosystems can greatly profit from each other.
Yes, I tend to agree. And further is because
Archers.
I think further is that these like gaming was always kind of a forerunner of new technologies because again it's entertainment and you want to have something that is new, that is exciting. And that's why internet games and browser games were of course huge, or in general these animated games and arcades and everything. That's how a lot of the early technology and early internet communications tech got built up. So do you think that gaming here will also benefit the adoption mainly of Bitcoin?
Sure, I would hope so. So that was the also this idea. Okay, we have one person who's running a full node, because when we started working on this, Neutrino wasn't as far as it is now, even though it's not released on mainnet. But we want to have gamers to run full nodes, and I think with Lightning it could be possible to not only have those leechers we like, of course, but I think if you look at the power of the PCs that are running today, a lot of those could be running Bitcoin and securing Bitcoin, right?
Yes, so that's also a nice match. Not just the gamers that are mining Bitcoin because of their high-powered graphic cards, but then also because they just have in general a good, decent setup and they can run a full node, especially now in the next couple of years where it does get rather resource intensive, right, to some degree, and thus having a decent machine is definitely optimal. And again, also right for streaming specifically, then when you receive Lightning Network payments, you do need to run your own full node.
Yes, at the moment. I don't know, watchtowers will be soon, right?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, I don't know if we should frown upon custodial stuff. I mean, our vouchers are custodial, right? But I think for gaming, custodial wallets could have a good use for adoption, maybe. But what do you think about that? For gaming, especially.
Well, for on-chain transactions, custodialship doesn't really make too much sense because all you need to take care of is a private key, right? And that's rather doable. Now, with Lightning Network, it's much more than just your private key. Yes, you need that, but you also need additional metadata, right? The current channel state, the revocation transactions, and all that stuff. There's a lot more that is too good channel management just from a secret point of view. And then also, it's not just knowing secrets, it's also having good channel liquidity and channel management. So having all that will also, I think, tend to make custodial services for Lightning more reasonable and more justifiable. I still argue that, of course, running your own full node and owning all your secrets is the way to go. But I see more reasons of running a Lightning Network custodial wallet, especially for receiving payments, compared to on-chain. What are your thoughts specifically for gaming?
Specifically, yeah, I would say gaming is, it's so centralized, right? You would you would be okay with a centralized solution for receiving your sub-euro amounts, right? But if we talk about more than that, then I'm not so sure. So I've seen in chat, there's someone asking for an open world RPG for Satoshis. So we have a Minecraft server running where you can basically earn and use Satoshis. So we could try, if in chat someone has a mobile wallet which can scan QR codes, we can try to teleport.
Get your phones ready. Fast, fast.
Get your phones ready. I don't know if it works. Yeah, so this is our Minecraft server, which is also connected to our Lightning node and which accepts payments. And you can also trade items for Satoshis with other people.
And I think the really interesting part here is that it is in-game, right? So you're using a map in Minecraft here to generate the QR code, which is hacky, of course, but it works.
Yeah. So is someone paying, or should I pay myself? Oh, someone paid.
Yoo-hoo, so we have been teleported.
Yeah, so this is, so one type of payment we have is user to server, which is cool and stuff, and you can have set your home base, which I did now, and you can teleport between them, but you can also sell stuff to other people for Satoshis, right? So the way it works is you create an invoice with the amount you want to sell these items for. So I want to sell these 2 carrots now. So give me 1 second. Create an invoice. What is the worth of 2 carrots in Minecraft?
Well, definitely it is 2,207 Satoshis.
That's way too much. 227. Oh, 2276. That's a lot. That's a lot. You know, it's more than a cent, right?
So many Satoshis.
So if I want to sell this item now that I got this invoice, which the 227 Satoshis I want to sell it for, I can just say sell and add the invoice. And now my sell order was added. And other users now can use the list sell order command. List sell orders. And they see, oh, there's this carrot item, which costs 227 Satoshi. Is it get sell order? Yeah, so now they can pay this sell order, and if they don't do it now, because I need to do it myself. Give me 1 second. So the way it works,
I think he's
so sorry. I was just, so the way it works, someone needs to pay for this invoice and send the pre-image in chat, if this is possible. If someone has an L&D node running, I can try it myself. It should.
Come on, chat. Who's got the Lightning node running? Proof of payment. Do you have it? Otherwise, I could.
I'm almost there.
So close. Okay, Jonas got it.
So here's the pre-image. All right, now, okay.
Should I spell the pre-image? 6, 8, 7, 7.
That's great UX, right? So now that I paid for the invoice, or Jonas who did it, I can claim the carrots. And you have to imagine I'm another user using the invoice. So if I claim it now, I should get the carrots. I didn't.
Oh.
Second, I need to.
You see, not your keys, not your carrots.
Wrong game. me try to pay for it.
Well, but I do think that it's really fantastic, right? That you can, even with the chat function here, kind of hacky,
So this
but
is the pre-image I got. So
it works.
Wrong, I think. Yeah, I claimed it with a pre-image, and now I got the carrots.
Nice.
And the cool thing about this, the payment wasn't done via the server, but it was peer-to-peer. It was to me, who I wanted to. So I want to sell the carrots, so the payment was to me, and the buyer just showed the Minecraft server the pre-image. So it was a permissionless payment, and the central authority, which would be the Minecraft server, which we need to trust anyway because we play on it, to validate the payment.
Okay, yeah, makes sense in that aspect, right? There is already a certain level of trust established anyhow. And we can build upon that trust, but not to the fullest extent, right? We still want to have control over our financial part of this transaction. That's where we want to be truly censorship resistant, right? And that's where the payment aspect comes in, and that's where the Lightning Network is more than good enough from a security and censorship resistant point of view, right? That's easy. The communication part as well, we got that.
Sure, I think so too. I think it works right now. We're just very early, but we can do a lot of fun stuff with it.
Oh yes, we can. And
so
already.
I just lost you on Hangouts.
Did you?
I'm not seeing anymore.
Oh no.
So if I reload the page, will I be in?
Piers, can you still see me in the real chat?
Yeah, just my tab died. But
are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah, crazy stuff, right? And it's already possible. Yes, still somewhat command line. Yes, still not really intuitive, but it's still working. Like it's actually really happening. So maybe where do you see the more long-term implications of this?
Long-term implications. I think gaming will play its role in adoption for Lightning and Bitcoin. But what type of game, I'm not possible to say. I think it will be some kind of what everybody wants. Okay, my gaming items have real life value, like a big type of MMO, multiplayer games, PvP games. Those will be where it really shines, because the game we're doing, it's easier for us to do, but I think those big games like World of Warcraft, if one comes out, or with a Second Life kind of game with Lightning included, I think this will be like one killer app for Lightning, I would say. One of the killer apps for Lightning. And especially the microtransactions are what I think will be really cool.
Well, yeah, it would be nice, right? I would believe that this would be the killer app, but the thing is, all these transactions are not on the blockchain, and that just makes them not good enough.
Yeah, we also created our own coin. It's called DonnerCoin, and you can, if you want to pre-mine it and pre-sale it, yeah, no, doesn't make sense. We have Bitcoin and Lightning.
Yeah, that's more enough, right? But I think one other thing though is that there are ways of doing unique tokens on top of Bitcoin on the blockchain, right? With colored coins, and a similar approach on the Lightning Network as well, with the BGB network and other implementations. So, do you actually think though that there is more use of having or using like the Lightning Network as a token network as well?
Probably, yeah, we can use it for that. The first thing I would think about would be Liquid, right? If I think about assets on the blockchain, but Liquid has its caveats for gaming. So we're working on something for tokenized Lightning, which is centralized, but which could be fine for gaming. But I think tokens on top of Lightning would be really cool for gaming.
And I think it would be interesting.
Yeah. So okay. So to give a little bit of a preview, what we try to do, we want to make our game a sort of a card game where users can send those monsters if they own the cards, to have like a collectible card game on top of the Lightning Network, basically. Which that would be our idea, to make more out of the payments, and to give the gameplay more of a real world value.
So, and could you then use these same cards to spawn new waves in the game, or what would they be used for?
Yeah, that's a little bit the idea. We're not sure how we want to implement it yet, just that we want to implement a meta game on top of our game, where you have those per system items on top of the blockchain or on top of a token database, which would be used. Yeah, the cards would be tokenized, but on a not shitcoin, altcoin kind of way, but on tokens which would run on top of Bitcoin.
Wait, so you're saying it would actually make sense?
Yeah, it could make sense.
Well, and I think one other interesting thing would be to kind of this intermediate in that sense that you can take these the in-game items of one game and port them to another game, right? So for example, you can take the big sword that you just dropped from this huge boss from World of Warcraft, and you can use the same sword in the next Skyrim game and slay monsters there. Do you think that this a kind of like overarching inventory kind of thing is a valid use case?
Of course. I mean, it sounds fun, right? So it should be a use case. But I don't know if we would do it on the, Bitcoin blockchain. That would be pretty expensive for just a virtual item. But we need to find some ways to represent it. And I mean, there's some work done, like you said, the RGB, but we're not there yet. So what we can do now are microtransactions, right?
Yes, and microtransactions are already cool, right? And money itself is what I would argue more important than the tokenization of stuff.
Sure.
So yeah,
okay. I need to answer chat. So the game requires Steam? Yes, at the moment it does, just for us to, because we don't have the services ready yet to sell it for Bitcoin and to distribute the game via Bitcoin. So the alpha and beta will require Steam, but later on it will be just sold like you would expect it.
good. On top of a self-hosted BTC Pay instance with, of course, Lightning Network WooCommerce instance.
Sure.
Well, but speaking of that, you told me that the game is made, or in one aspect also a major task of onboarding, right, of getting new individuals interested in Bitcoin. And the main issue with that is, first of all, where do these peers get their first Bitcoin? Both on-chain and also on the Lightning Network. So how have you handled the initial onboarding experience?
So that's the cool thing about Steam, I have to say it again, which we wouldn't need to do if we sell it for Bitcoin. But imagine if you buy it on Steam, you just see, oh, there's this game, the description says, oh, I can earn Bitcoin from it. What does that even mean? So as our game requires running a node, what we would do is we want to ship LND with it. We want to have Zap Wallet included in the package, and it will install automatically. And the moment you start the game, you connect to our node. And we open up a channel to you so that you have inbound capacity. It will take half an hour, but that would be time for a tutorial for the game, right? And after the tutorial, you would be good to go to receive payments in the Lightning Network. But what we then want to do is maybe refund some of the costs of buying the game with Lightning. So you send us an invoice and we will pay it. And if the game will cost 15 euros, you will get, I don't know, maybe 2 euros back in Bitcoin in the Lightning Network, so that we can onboard users basically.
Oh, very nice. And here again, right, you as a seller, you sell the game already, so there is cash flow regardless. But then you have Bitcoin, right? And you might want to sell them as well. And this means that you are the point of entrance for all these gamers. And of course, having then a kind of intrinsic and easy way of buying their first Bitcoin just included in the price of the game is quite ingenious. And also doing it this way, you get inbound liquidity, because that is a huge major issue for the Lightning Network, right? Is that when you want to receive funds, people have to commit funds in a payment channel pointed to your node, and that is something that is not too tricky or not too easy. Yes, you can. Of course, when you make a lot of publicity around your node, then you can get these inbound capacities, or you can buy them. So Bitrefill has the Thor purchase here, where you can purchase this inbound liquidity. There are other services like the Lightning Hood as well. So do you think that, or what different types of onboarding mechanisms do you see other than yours?
We were also thinking of paying for a Thor channel towards the users, because it would make a lot of sense, because I think channel management is a huge pain in the ass, right? But other onboarding, I mean, we also thought about just giving out vouchers over Lightning vouchers, but that would be, we wouldn't really like that. Other onboarding. So the cool thing about Steam is that we don't have a risk of chargebacks. So we can provide the channels, because we know if we get those 15 euros for the game, we have those 50 euros. We can use them for channel opening and for refunding back Bitcoin. So this is why Steam is also super cool.
Oh yeah, and here the chargeback and the fraud is of course a huge bad point for credit cards, and Bitcoin and Lightning Network here, of course, a huge major plus. And especially in gaming, right? Where do you see the relief of the risk of chargebacks in regards of games? Could the same be possible with credit card style chargebacks?
I don't know. Yeah, sure, right? Chargebacks are a real thing, and especially if you look at streaming again, there's a lot of, okay, you get a $1,000 donation and you flip out. Yeah, I made it in streaming, but it was just chargeback a day after.
That's the ultimate troll.
Yeah, in Steam you can refund game in the first 2 hours, which what we do is after you play 2 hours, you get you then get the Lightning payment basically before we open the channel. So we upfront the channel opening costs, but the Bitcoin we refund will just be after the 2 hours.
Okay, so you immediately open the payment channel.
Yes.
So that means you do have the on-chain transaction costs, and you need to wait for confirmation and everything, right? But then after 2 hours, you know that the payment is irreversible on Steam, and then hopefully by then the payment channel will also be open and confirmed on the blockchain. And then you can just do a simple regular Lightning Network payment, or just shifting the balance of this particular payment channel isn't even with routing.
Yes.
And then the user has inbound capacity, which is great.
Inbound and outbound capacity without ever really buying Bitcoin. So that's the idea. And we package it behind our game because we think this would target a lot of users. But I mean, you can do this type of software if you try to minimize the chargeback risk with any kind of Lightning software you want to sell. So you just sell your piece of software and just send Bitcoin with it, like those vouchers. So we can just, if you watch my stream, you will get vouchers. I don't care. For me, it's marketing costs and it's nothing. And you can engage with my stream. And I think a lot of Lightning applications should do that. They should sell their product and also sell a fraction of Bitcoins just to use this product.
Yes. And in that sense, it's not, or it might not really be cost, right? Because if I, as a streamer, decide to hand out 10 or 10,000 Satoshis worth, but then all these 10,000 Satoshis end up coming back to me in forms of donations given by my viewers, well, then I didn't really lose any money, right?
Yeah, sure.
I lost the short-term liquidity, and yes, not everything might come back, but even if only a couple thousand Satoshis end up coming back in my wallet, it's totally justifiable, as you said, as marketing costs.
Yeah, I think a lot of applications have use for this type of onboarding. Just sell Bitcoins with your product in forms of vouchers, or I don't know, there will probably be some custodial web wallets who will work just like that.
Yes.
Pre-funded wallets, that's the thing.
And I'm especially curious, and I haven't really found a solution for that yet, is a way for someone who has no Bitcoin whatsoever to have capacity on the Lightning Network without ever doing an on-chain transaction. And I mean, currently, I don't think it's possible because you need to have a funding transaction with sufficient proof of work. And though on the other hand, like with stuff like channel factories and Taproot and like tweaking of signatures, something like this might be possible, that you can become onboarded on the Lightning Network as a complete no-coiner without ever doing an on-chain transaction, which I think is actually something that we have to somehow figure out.
Yeah, onboarding is hard. But I mean, at some point, we'll wonder, okay, why did we even think about this? Because it's not needed, because everybody is included in Lightning, right? So it's just the beginnings we struggle with. It's not, in 5 years, we won't think about onboarding, right?
No, in 5 years, we're at the moon. Like
Yeah, sure. Let's go
all
to moon.
onboarded. We're all on-mooned already. Yeah. No, but it is interesting because there are many people, many billion people, and there is limited amount of block space. And when every person would open like 20 payment channels, would be a lot of on-chain transactions.
Wow, nice. That makes sense, yeah. But you would only need a channel for a year, maybe, of inbound capacity.
It really depends, right? But I think what we can say for sure is that the Lightning Network doesn't scale, that it is vaporware, and that it'll fail. That it has failed already.
And buy my Donner coin, please.
It's the next Bitcoin. with weather and sound. The Donner coin is the sound money.
It's sound money, yeah. The soundest of monies.
That is too bad.
Too bad.
Oh well, okay. Let's get some decency back, hopefully. Well, Konstantin, we already talked about a lot, and definitely a lot about also gaming and how micropayments might affect that. Of course, Bitcoin is also more than just gaming. And do you have something of interest that regarding Bitcoin and Lightning outside of gaming that is in your mind lately?
Oh, I need to find something now, right? For me, gaming is so big. I mean, I think a lot of privacy, right, makes a lot of sense for gaming as well.
Why
I'm looking what for me is interesting as a business, which I try to build on top of gaming, is okay, how how can you monetize Lightning infrastructure, right? So if I say I'm the, I open the channel to every gaming user, I should be funded just from routing fees, right? And this is what I'm looking forward to most. So how does the infrastructure work? How does the game theory, the economic game theory, work out for this and for Watchtowers as well?
Oh, so that you could kind of subsidize your development cost for gaming with the routing fees and additional fees for example, Watchtowers or other services that
Yeah, maybe.
you as a good node can provide to others.
Yeah, I think that has a huge potential, right? It's what Alex Bosworth is twittering a lot about. How much? I mean, he routed 1 million Satoshi per day.
Yeah, crazy.
That's a lot. Yeah, other topics in Lightning which are interesting. Maybe multi-party channels are super interesting for gaming as well.
Oh yes, yes, that as well, right? So could you give us the multi-party payment channels?
Don't do this to me.
That's always the tricky thing with crazy technology like here. What is it? Give it like the exact details.
No. I cannot give you details. Just that it sounds cool for gaming.
Well, also struggling with the exact details of all this.
Yeah, I'm a Bitcoin fraud. I just use Lightning.
All these Lightning maximalists.
Yeah.
Horrible. So toxic.
Yeah, so I just want to do some shout outs because I'm not the only one who's working on gaming. So I want to shout out Satoshi's Games because they do a lot for the web development. So
yes,
if you want to do web-based games, because we only do like desktop-based games, bigger games. If you want to do small web-based games, talk to Carlos from Satoshi's Games. He's pretty interested in that. And also shout out to Koala Studios. They are working on a chess game which will have a super cool Lightning platform involved in it. So that's what you guys can look forward to. Because I'm trying to cater to traditional gaming, huge gaming, but as Bitcoin users, you should be looking forward to those small applications which will be on the web to use now.
Yes, okay, that as well. So in total, we have 3 people working on gaming in Lightning.
I think we will have more. I think we'll have more. But those are the 2 others which I communicate a lot with, and they helped me a lot. So I needed to shout out them.
Yes, definitely. And by the way, there is a video with Carlos here from Satoshi's
I've seen it.
On the WCN. So the peers from the WCN already somewhat know him, and now we have 2 of the 3 Lightning devs, Lightning gaming devs in the WCN. Now we just need to get Koala on there. Well, yeah, but no, seriously, it still is extremely early. It still is really only a really few individuals working on this stuff, and that first of all shows you how crazy reckless this is, and but also where the potentials are, right, and where this can go. Just all the topics that we have covered today, and just the tiny bit that you've showed us today, like in this hour and a half of showcases. It's crazy what already is possible with such a quote unquote minimal development, and then what might be possible with just a bit more of dedication. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's what good game developers will come out with all these innovations we already use, but which are not in public yet. It will be pretty fun, I think.
Oh, yes. Piers, and you are definitely an early adopter when you're watching this. So you help out. We have 1,001 problems that need solving and 1,001 interesting the theories that we need to work on. And I think here gaming is just one of the many niches that are so interesting, and that so many things are possible, that it really is motivating.
Yeah,
So,
not a lot to add to that.
so Konstantin, but on your website, the Donner Labs, of which, by the way, I should get here into the screen sharing
Website.
on your extremely search engine optimized and a beautiful website. Which, by the way, when a website is extremely beautiful, then most of the time it's a shitcoin ICO that's going to scam you outside of your money, right? So when you see a no bullshit website like this one, you know it is actually a no bullshit project. So that is quite nice.
Yeah, we try to go the zero bullshit route. But the most interesting stuff is, I think, at our GitHub. So if you're interested, if you do Java, if you want to do Minecraft service, check out our Minecraft plugin. Work on it, please. If you want to do Unity development, check out our Unity plugin. So I think there's a lot to see. And if you want to get Donner Dungeon alpha keys, just write me on Twitter. I will send them out later today or maybe tomorrow.
Oh, that is fantastic. Yes, absolutely. Get the lightning keys, or sorry, get the alpha keys. That is going to be key because the game is really a lot of fun. And maybe something that we didn't yet touch on when I visited you in Darmstadt in the studio, is we got a bunch of people together and we played. Well, like what was it, like 8-9 people all in one room on one big screen, and it was so much fun. It was like Nintendo family party, right? Like family gaming, but with Bitcoin, and that was cool. That was really good. So having this interactive of several different people in the room, all yelling at each other and paying money to beat each other, it's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty fun Bitcoin meetup game. You all need to just go to IRC, just send some payments and have some fun. Yeah.
Yes.
That's how it works.
Yeah. Fantastic. So Piers, check out Donner Lab. Definitely, they are worth checking out. First of all, on Twitch, I heard you're doing weekly live streams now.
Yes, last week we started a weekly live stream with our game, which I showed you today. But now we do it bi-weekly. So next Monday we will have a Minecraft stream. So if you have Minecraft and you want to join, it will be an open community project where you can join and play Minecraft with us with Lightning payments included.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So you can really see how this works in action, and with the good Twitch setup. And I can't wait until all this is integrated in nice dual browser plugin extensions and crazy stuff like this, right? When you have a really easy and intuitive setup for all this, oh wow, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do. And if you go to our website, we're also hiring. So if you want to work with us, just drop me a message and maybe we can work something out, because we need a lot of workforce.
Yes. However, I would do caution here with some advice, is that the Faber Visio, which is the studio, has a bit more of a professional website. So they might do a scam ICO. We're not yet sure. Donner Lab, though, for sure, no, they won't.
Yeah. So that's the first website I did was a bullshit website, and then Donner Lab followed afterwards.
Yes, that's good. That's when you know the priorities are straight. Well, definitely. And Piers, follow Konstantin here at Sputnik with a 1 on Twitter. Definitely worth if you want to stay up to date with the crazy things happening with Lightning games. And also follow Donner Lab on Twitter. Definitely also.
Yeah, that's more important than following me. Follow what we do.
Well, why not both?
Why not both?
Yes, and definitely the GitHub. Check that out as well. Honestly, the Lightning voucher system itself is so damn good. It really is extremely useful. So check it out if you haven't. And it works. Yes, it's custodial as hell. Yes, not your keys, not your secrets.
But
Absolutely.
you can run
But
it
it
yourself.
works.
So you can be a custodial for your friends and family.
Right, exactly. Right, and super intuitive setup, super quick, super easy. So definitely like that. And yeah, I guess that for shilling is so far. And then also, though, I want to shill a bit here of my tally coin, which has some amazing, amazing updates. This tally coin, um, which of course you can do the one-time donations here, both with on-chain and with Lightning. But then the really crazy thing is that Tallycoin has just added subscriptions. So what you can do here is on the top left, you can click subscribe. And then it leads you here to my subscription page where you can log in either with your email or your Twitter and then select the payment method of either on-chain, boo, or off-chain, yay, Lightning. And then you can buy subscriptions for 30 days, which are 0.0033 Bitcoin, so 330,000 Satoshis, quite reasonable, $10 roughly per month. And you can either buy 1 month package or 3 or 2, 3, or half a year or entire year. And you can buy that in bulk all at once today and then save a bit. But once the subscription here is done, so after, for example, 30 days, you will get an email or a Twitter message with a new invoice that you can buy then for the next 30 or 60 days of subscriptions. So it's really nice, and here with all these subscriptions, you get then access to all the perks and all the posts and cool stuff that I can do. So, for example, right here down there is a little test post that I did, which you would have to be a subscriber to get access to, or pay a one-time 30,000 Satoshi payment. So Tallycoin really got a huge major upgrade here in the 7th version now with subscriptions. Quite nice. I really like it. And also, of course, the right down here, the articles and extra videos that you can have in these posts. Fantastic stuff here. So donations on Tallycoin, very much appreciated. And of course, again, last time shilling here, the on Twitter, both, and of course, check out the game. Get the alpha keys. It is a fantastic game. It's a lot of fun to play, and not just alone. That's boring. But get a bunch of friends together and tell your friends about Bitcoin and Lightning while showing them how amazing these games can be. It's a lot of fun. It's a great onboarding experience, and it's hopefully going to be a nice evening then with all of you. Konstantin, any last words?
The last words. Thank you for having me. It was nice to talk about my projects. I hope some of you will look at our open source stuff, because there is a lot of fun to be had, I think. So if you look at our Minecraft or gaming stuff, just use it. Write me a message. I'm happy to guide you through it. And yeah, so there's already one game released with our Unity plugin, which was the Penguin game, which I don't know if you saw it last week on Twitter.
No, I didn't. What is that about?
Yeah, it was a Unity game which was built on top of our plugin. So that is, if you, I can send you the link to the tweet.
Did you build it, or did someone else?
It was built by someone else. So I was super happy about it that someone used the plugin.
Fantastic, right? And that's the cool thing when you put something out in the public domain of information space, that other individuals can go out there and build stuff with your with the ideas that you have manifested and put in their brain. So it's beautiful. That's why open source is so powerful.
So here's the link to the tweet of the game. Just send it on Hangout.
Yes, got it right here, and then sharing the screen so y'all can see it. And right here we have it. Just finished my Lightning Network RPG, in which you can buy stuff via the Bitcoin Lightning Network. Open a door, spawn a monster, or buy a tiger. I always wanted to have a tiger. Invoices are displayed within the game and can be copied to the clipboard or scanned in your mobile Lightning Network wallet. Test it yourself. Nice. And I already did retweet that, so I did see it. But apparently I didn't make the connection that this is built on top of your Unity plugin. So really cool stuff. And apparently it works. So
It does
The
work.
Lightning Network gaming community is growing.
I streamed it on my first stream last week, so you can watch that on Twitch or on YouTube. The bot should be online if you want to have a look at the game.
Yes, that is fantastic. So Piers, we're here. We have it. Lightning Network games. They are here, and they are a lot of fun. So if you like what you saw here, leave a like, leave a subscription. Thanks for hanging in there in the chat, for paying a couple Lightning invoices here. That was a lot of fun. And I'm really curious what you come up with here in the future, Konstantin. It really is great to see this game develop, and where it might take us. Not just what you can come up with on how to integrate Lightning Network payments in a game directly, but also how this changes your game and how this makes it a unique endeavor and what others can come up with as well. So thank you very much, Konstantin, here for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And Piers, see you on the next show. Bye-bye.